Hey there guys, how's it going? Reaper here, back with another painting video, and this is another Reaper Bones Kickstarter 4. I believe it's 4. Yes, they've just put out 5, so 4. It's called the Great Ape, but this one actually has armor and weapons, so I'm going to call this the Great Ape Leader, as the other ones are just an ape, basically. But we have primed this in our usual grey primer, as we always do, and I'm using ash grey to dry brush all the fur. So I want this to be quite a light ape, not quite a white like albino, but pretty light grey. So we're just going to start with ash grey as the first layer. That was it for the first dry brush. Then we're on to the second one of brain matter beige, and this will almost make it look like a white ape, but then once the wash goes on, it will darken back down to the more sort of light grey area. If you did want to do a white one, I would say do the wash anyway, as it will help, but then just come back with a brain matter beige and highlight back up to that, but with a lighter dry brush than this. No, that is it for the fur for now. Now we move on to angel green for, it's almost like Roman armor when you look at it, and Roman armor have this sort of, I believe they actually called it a skirt, so I'm going to go with that. So that's what I'm painting on here with angel green, as it's more of a fabric than it is actually metallic, and there's going to be a lot of metallics on this mini, so I wanted something different so it pops out a little bit more. That's it for angel green. Now while that's drying, I come in with some cobalt skin for all of the sort of exposed areas of the flesh, which for something like a silverback gorilla, this is more, it's just thinner hair, so it would be a light grey, but I wanted this to stand out a little bit more than, well, it would be the same color as the skin is, the fur essentially, so I wanted a nice good pop, so I'm going with a flesh tone of cobalt skin. And that is it for the skin tone. That is probably the longest part of this mini as well, although you do have to do, well, you shouldn't have to, but I did have to do quite a few layers of this true copper, as for some reason it just wouldn't stick to some of the parts of the breastplate. You'll notice I have to keep just going back to certain parts where the paint has just drifted away somehow, and I've never encountered that to this level before. I've had it at certain points, but then every now and then it would just do this, and I'm not really sure why. There we go, that is it for the true copper. I do keep coming back every now and then just to touch it up to actually have it cover properly, but I just do that in between other coats of paint just to spread it out a little bit. But now we're on to plate mail metal, and this is for some more of the armor. I didn't want all the armor to be the same color, as that would just look boring, and the true copper was just irritating me, so I went with a different color, and this one just sticks. And of course, the sort of more people paying attention would notice as well, I've also done the flesh around the armor, as once I did it I noticed that was wrong. Well, I won't say wrong, I missed that part. It's not actually fur, but it's not part of the armor, so it's just the fleshy part on the belly. And that was it for the plate mail metal. Now we're on to the last of the metallics, which is the greedy gold. I figured this guy's meant to be a leader, so he's probably actually the king. So he needs some shiny shiny gold. He's got shiny silver, so he needs gold as well now. And he's wearing a sort of crown, so it makes sense to be gold. But then of course I also do come back, and then any sort of rivets or bubbles and things on the armor, I'm also going to do it in this gold, just to make it pop out a little bit more and add a little more variety into the mini without putting too much more extra effort in to make it look different. And that was it for gold. Now we're on to the first and pretty much the only highlight, and it is Skillet Bone. And this is for it's all for the sort of nails and the teeth. I was originally going to do the flesh tone with the Skillet Bone, but I do actually decide otherwise as I went to put the paint on there. The Skillet Bone, it will pop it up way too high. So I wanted something that's slightly different, which is where I come in now with the Banshee Brown to do the actual flesh tone highlights. And that was it for the highlights. Now we're moving on to the wash stage, and it is dark tone for pretty much everything apart from the exposed flesh. And I am trying very much to move this around as much as possible to keep the skin as, well, the fur as light as possible. But of course, if you did want to do a white mini or a white furred ape, do it like this, thin the paint a little bit more, and then come back afterwards and do another highlight, which obviously I don't do because I don't want the white mini. There we go, that was all the dark tone done. Now it is flesh wash for all of the exposed skin. I also go back and do the copper areas with this, just to give it more of a reddy tinge to separate it more from the gold. And now we're on to matte black, which I'm actually going to paint eyes for once. Normally I would just do a little white spot for the eyes and that would be it, or whatever color the eyes are going to be, but we're actually going to do some proper eyes for once. So it is matte black for the first part of the eyes and of course the base. As you can tell, I probably picked the wrong brush for this, as I'm using the same brush I used on the eyes when realistically you would swap brush. I just wasn't really thinking too much, and I got the same weird issue with this black on the base where it just kept pulling away from certain areas. That was it for the first part of the black. Now we're on to matte white, which is for the more inner part of the eye. So you want to leave that black outline just to sort of seal the eye off, but then you got the white for the actual eyeball, and just 2 black lines work for the actual eye. And that would be it for the ape leader. Let's go if you enjoyed, guys, and I will catch you again with the next Reaper Bones mini. See ya.